Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about tattoo laser removal, as well as all the other best and worst tattoo TikToks I could find. Let's jump into it. Okay, let's start off with this.
So I'm back with my second session of the laser tattoo removal. A lot of y'all wanted updates, so here it is. Let's start from the beginning. So this was the first session that I did. This was over a period of 2 weeks where the tattoo.
So we are going to be talking about laser removal. It looks so disgusting. Every time I look at this, I go, ooh, I'm glad I can just come to terms with my tattoos rather than needing to laser them off. Although these tattoos on her definitely feel out of place. I know that that might sound judgy, and it is. But as a tattooer, when I look at these tattoos, I go, not what I'd expect her to have, okay? The other hand, the Pinteresty mandala-y stuff, obviously that's way up her alley, but a flower and a spider, not so much. Recently, I got a little burn on my leg from a motorcycle, just an accident. Just tapped it, got a little burn. It was pretty gnarly. It was about a, I don't know, second, third degree burn. And it messed my leg up, you know, like maybe about that big, nothing crazy. But the healing process on that was tough. Like 2 weeks of just kind of like babying the crap out of it and not going to the gym really because of where it was on it was like my knee, back of the leg area. It just was in one of those sensitive spots. And I was like, ooh, I hate that. And when I look at this, like it looked exactly the same, like all wonky and wobbly. Like look, right there, it's right there. It looks like crap. And the healing process on these lasers, I'm like, oh my God. The amount of work you have to do to get rid of these tattoos. Now, obviously, laser removal and burns are not the same, but they're pretty much the same, right? And it's just hard to think that you're gonna have to go through that, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 times sometimes. Yeah. This clean girl aesthetic, wishing you were a teenager again with no tattoos. I personally don't understand it, but it is a thing and we're gonna get more into it later. So on to the next, and let's see some tattoo removal that actually worked out.
Tattoo removal session number 15. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I'm just so happy on the progress that has
First off, he's pointing at something. I can't see it here. Can you? Probably not.
been made over the past few years. We're almost at that finish line. My guess, 2 to 3 more sessions and I should be donezo with the removal. This is what it looked like all the way in the beginning. Again, a lot of progress has been made. I'm very
Wow, beautiful work this laser does. I've been very skeptical of lasering for a long time. I think usually people don't finish them because they become too expensive. Looking at this half sleeve, it's amazing. It's gone, donezo, bye. But one of the biggest reasons why it was able to be lasered so well is because it's like this black and gray washed out tattoo. Like you put in a bold tribal tattoo and you gotta laser it, it's gonna take a lot more than 15 sessions. This thing looks like it was halfway lasered from the beginning, right? You're like, oh, barely could see that washed out crap ass tattoo. And then 15 sessions later, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, it's gone. It's gone. But let's keep going.
This is what it looked like all the way in the beginning. Again, a lot of progress has been made. I'm very, very happy, especially over the last few sessions. But if anyone has any questions, definitely drop them down in the comments. I will be answering them and also doing a voiceover, just basically going over the most commonly asked questions.
Boring. Let's watch some of that laser.
Comparison. The left is now and the right is 4 to 5 months ago. It's insane how much progress has been made. But the most commonly asked questions I get is, why did you get it removed? I personally just didn't like it anymore.
I didn't like it either. I think it was a very weak looking tattoo. I'm glad he got it lasered. This time is one of those success stories. Do I think that happens for everybody? No. In fact, I think there's a lot of problems still with tattoo laser. I'm glad this one worked out so well. Let's keep going. Now, this is some of the worst tattoo TikTok things I've seen. I don't know if I've covered this one before. I don't think I have. 9/11. That's what you got on your back, buddy. Oh my God, dude. You know what's funny? You know, in today's age right now, a lot of people are talking about like Reddit kids and this trolling internet culture and how it's like interfering with the real world. Obviously, I'm talking about some current events, but you know, whatever. I don't really need to get into that. But it is weird when you start to see these like meme culture, Reddit culture, TikTok culture getting into tattooing and you're like, This is that. This is a manifestation of that. This is what happens. A 9/11, Twin Tower bombing, people's heads blowing up, like that's what you have on your back? Like, where are we nowadays? Like, what are we doing? I think it is really popular for us to, I am a content creator. I know that you guys, are internet people. I'm an internet person, but I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is going on in the world today? That this is a tattoo that you wanted and got. Like, oh my God. Just play it again. This one's for all you weirdo internet people. Shout out, get outside, please, for the love of God. Next.
Hey Dad, I think I want to be a tattoo artist.
Oh yeah? You want to do cool tattoos like your dad?
So I'll stop it right there. Anybody who is a father and a tattooer, I'm sure you want your kids to at least appreciate tattoos because we love it so much. And it's one of those funny things that I've known a lot of tattooers with kids, and a lot of their kids are interested. A lot of their kids aren't interested in being tattooers, but it is funny how it does happen to if you're a tattooer, there's a chance your kid's gonna be a tattooer, obviously, just because they're around it so much. I've worked at plenty of shops where kids were running around tattoo shop all day long just because, tattooers couldn't find a babysitter or whatever. And those kids end up being pretty good artists and a lot of times end up following the footsteps of their fathers. Now, if I was a dad and this happened to me, I'd be very bummed.
Hey Dad, I think I want to be a tattoo artist.
Oh yeah? You want to do cool tattoos like your dad?
Ew, not like that. Like this.
So obviously the joke is the dad is like a traddy daddy. He's more of a new school traddy daddy, whatever, something along those lines. Neo-trad guy. And the daughter wants to do these fine line little Pinteresty tats. Yeah, I think all of us can relate to that. The things that we think are cool, your kids probably are not gonna think are cool. And if your kids wanna be tattooers, they're probably gonna do a different style than you altogether. And they'll probably end up getting tattoos that you don't want to be a part of. But, hey, at least your kid loves you, right? What do we got?
I won't do Harry Potter tattoos. Absolutely not. Those spells in the Harry Potter books are real spells.
They're real
fake.
spells. Not only that, the Vatican has a whole section devoted to Harry Potter.
What?
Yep.
Well,
dude,
the upper echelon of the hierarchy in the Catholic Church, there's been infiltration by Satanists. People are very aware of that.
I love it. I love it so much. Nowadays it's pretty common for people to have off the wall, weird takes on current events. But as tattooers, we've always been like the fringe and always had very strange political and, fringe beliefs. I remember being in tattoo shops being like, what the heck are we talking about? This is the weirdest topic, the most BS-y type of stuff, and I've always been into it. But there was aliens or government or whatever stuff in the world that you'd think that there was, tattooers have always believed it. This one, they're talking about the Catholic Church. I don't know. They're talking about spells. They're talking about Harry Potter. I'm in. Nothing to me is better than the certainty of a tatter. Okay, I was actually on this podcast before. I think it's a great podcast. I think it's just funny the way that tattooers have a certainty, they know something, they were sitting in their shop and all of a sudden they understand the world. But yeah, hey, good for them. Their weird beliefs end up working out for them. On to the next.
All right, it's the Tattoo Apocalypse. Ganga Tattoo has made a collaboration with Nike to sell us all out, and he's doing tattoo schools with them that he's trying to call academies. The only thing Nike should have to do with tattooing is taking their child labor out of their sweatshops and putting them in other sweatshops to make our tattoo supplies. It's so lame that they had to use a coil machine sound because they know their pin machines are gay. The Nexus Corporation owns Kingpin, Critical, Tatsoul, and many others. Then the Body Art Alliance owns FK Irons, Worldwide Inc., and others. Now I wonder which giant corporation is going to come in and buy both of them up and make a monopoly over all of us and fuck us all in the end.
Okay, so that was something a little different. Over the past few days, a lot of people have been talking about Ganga Tattoo coming in with Nike, making tattoo schools, academies, whatever. I think Ganga is similar to like Bang Bang, where he just like jumps from trend to trend to trend, finding the next dollar he could take on, whatever. That's something he does. Tattoo schools, I think, are obviously a joke and a scam for a lot of different reasons. If you can't put that together, then like whatever. But I think there is something to be said for the last little bit that I probably am gonna have to cut out because of the music. But he essentially says that there are corporations that own our biggest tattoo suppliers. In tattooing, there's about 10 suppliers that are owned by these big conglomerates, and they virtually own the vast majority of tattooing. And it's really something sad, something that I plan on changing in the future as we go through. That's something that pisses off a lot of tattooers, and I think that that could change. So on to the next. Something in tattooing that doesn't need to change, this. I love this. I'm supportive of this. You know, get your Amazon machine. I love how he wrapped up his Amazon machine like he cares. You know, he's like not using gloves and he's just like bashing tats into his skin. You know what always drives me crazy? Is like, how does this guy have a home? I don't know. How does he have a place to like live? Like, how does he afford that? Like, these are the decisions homeboy makes, and he has a place to live? I don't know, that's crazy. Oh, it's like, damn, dude, how do you afford that? How does anyone afford that? And you're just bashing blue into your arm like it's gonna, I don't know, crazy. On to the next, I guess. Okay, so there's something I want to talk about, and it's scratcher tatters. I've been talking a lot about them lately. I'm not gonna talk any bad. I'm gonna actually say great things about this tatter, believe it or not. His name is Johnny Coyd. He does this like biomech-y, scratcher, weirdness tattooing, and I just think it looks amazing. And it kind of shows you how good sometimes these scratcher tatters can be, because this tattoo came out phenomenal. At least the drawing came out phenomenal, and I'm very excited for this type of tattooing. I know that that's crazy, and I know that I look at all of other scratchers and I go like, I don't see it, I don't understand it. But this guy, I was like, hey, I get it. Now, if we're watching this, he doesn't finish this tattoo, he doesn't make it into a tattoo, but I'm gonna show you some of the other tattoos he did that kind of like fit in that style, and I think you're gonna be like impressed. Look at that, that's like a beautiful tattoo. Now, what makes him look like a scratcher, as I show you a couple more of his tattoos, especially the ones with the girl face, it's funny because you go to these like Instagram accounts that are scratcher tatters and they all have the same aesthetic. You know, they don't take close-up photos of their work, they take posed photos. So like they'll have a girl and she'll be like, and it'll just show her shoulder and you're like, oh, cool, like you're an artsy-fartsy dork. And usually it's like these scratchy little dumb, nothing in the skin lines. And that's how you know they're a scratcher, right? Like that's their aesthetic. Because scratcher culture was all about being different and then it merged into the same crap. So he definitely has the aesthetic of a scratcher with the quality of a pro. And I just like, you know, look at this art. Like that looks amazing and it will make a relatively cool tattoo. Like biomech's something that has been tattooed for a very long time and is capable of being tattooed very cool. And this is just like an extension of that with like scratcher style. I don't know, something interesting, something I appreciated. If you don't appreciate it, cool, I get it. Scratcher tatting isn't my favorite. I'd probably get a tattoo from this guy, maybe, depending on how he tattooed it, but whatever. On to the next. Back onto Tattoo Lazer, let's get in.
So I've been getting my tattoo sleeve removed for the past like 5-ish months. And I think the biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody who is getting a tattoo removed or like a really big piece like this removed is to just enjoy the process. And that sounds absolutely crazy because why would you enjoy the process of removing a tattoo? But you just have to enjoy the art while it's still there. And unless you have some sort of like really ugly or really offensive tattoo, most of the time you're just like, I don't want it anymore, I don't align with it. But if you can just kind of enjoy the art while it's still there, it makes the process a little bit less daunting and scary because you know, like one day this is going to be gone, one day I won't have this art on me, so I might as well enjoy it.
I think this was one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard. It's just like going to someone and saying the exact opposite of how they're feeling and being like, that's how you feel better about it. And it's like, yeah, that's great. I mean, this is just a dumb take. This is just a dumb take. You don't like the tattoo, you're not gonna enjoy the process of getting that tattoo lasered. What is it? What? So dumb. What are we even talking about? Hey, I know you just got your finger chopped off, but you know, like if you just enjoyed the process a little bit more, you'd be okay with it. Like what? That's a bad take. That's a bad take. I just wanted to point that out because sometimes we're talking about tattoo laser a little bit today, and I go online and I hear stuff like this and I'm like, that's a dumb take. You don't like the tattoo, why would you enjoy the process of getting lasered? This super painful, scabby, gross, blistery process? No thanks. No thanks. It's like, oh, you have cancer? Well, you know what's best for having cancer? Enjoying the process of chemo. Like what? No. Okay, that's dumb. On to the next. Nothing to me is cooler than black and gray Chicano tatting, dude. I'm fortunate enough to not have it because I'm not tough enough for it. But it looks very cool. And every time I see it, I just have to point that out. This is Carlos Amaya tattoo. I don't know, Amaya tattoo. Carlos Amaya tattoo, maybe. Beautiful, beautiful work. If you're an old Theo out there, go get tattooed. Look like this guy. That's how you look cool. Next, more black and gray. This is some of that heavy black saturation. A lot of times I'm not into this style because it's over textured. This does not feel over textured to me and it just looks like solid, clean tattooing. That's all I wanted to say. Look at it. Be like, oh, Kirk's in awe. Look at this beauty. The knee tattoo looks rad. The whole thing looks amazing. Good for them. Beautiful. And everything makes sense. Hernan Yepes art, _art. Beautiful. Next. One last black and gray. I've been obsessed with black and gray lately. This one's by Ave_lights. Just beautiful, clean, single needle, 3 needle type of tattooing. It's not as popular as it once was. It's still gonna be extremely popular for a long time. Beautiful, clean tattooing. Now let's finish it off with some laser talk again.
To give you guys a tattoo removal update. So this was after my 6th tattoo laser removal appointment. And this is day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's been 4 days since my appointment and you can already tell like my arm's not swollen anymore. It's starting to...
My arm's not swollen anymore. Yeah, no, it looks disgusting. It looks like there's some actual work. Let's see some of these results.
It's been a while since I've done a tattoo removal update, so... Isn't that incredible? I feel like this was probably my darker tattoo, so it's taking a little bit longer. Same with this one, but the butterflies are like almost non-existent. My magic 8 ball.
It looks like it's going away. If you have some fine line chingadera tattoos, you might be able to get rid of them. If you got some dark, black, heavy tattooing, you're gonna have a harder time getting rid of them. Do I think you should really get tattooed if you ever even consider lasering? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think a lot of these people who are getting tattoos lasered could have solved the problem by asking themselves like, hey, am I really a tattooed person? Like, am I about this or am I just falling into a trend of tattooing? Because I think a lot of these people are just following the trend, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I follow trends. You follow trends. We've all followed trends, okay? We're all guilty of it. You bought a Labubu. You're a jabroni, okay? I get it. Maybe you don't fall into a permanent lifestyle change on your body. I hope you have a blessed day, week, whatever. And hopefully the next time you hear me, I won't sound so sniffly. Bye.